안녕하십니다. Heroes is about to do a very massive manga haul. So, for those that are into this sort of thing, I hope you enjoy. If not, I totally understand, but I would grab something to drink, get a snack, because this is going to be a long one. So, I went to John's, or Riva, as some of you know him as, for Valentine's Day, and there was a used bookstore there that had a decent manga section, so I went a little nuts. Then I went to Books Million, went a little nuts, and I've still got stuff from Macari coming in, but since this is the last day of February, I figured I would just make this the February haul, and then stuff that I get in March, I'll put as the March haul. I will go ahead and do the non-manga ones first, just to get them out of the way. This one I have read and I recommend highly. This one is called Not Forgotten, The True Story of My Imprisonment in North Korea by Kenneth Bay. This was amazing. I honestly wish I could meet him in person, because his willpower for when he is detained is so much better than what I would have done. And the reason that he got imprisoned is because he accidentally had a hard drive on him. And he runs a tour group that goes into North Korea, but they found the hard drive with everything on it, like all the pictures and stuff used to promote the tours and everything, and they were not very happy, let's put it that way. But he had been in the country before. I think this was like his 18th one or something like that. Let me see if this sounds like. Yeah, 18th trip. Wow, I'm amazed I got that right. But just his resolve to sticking it out and trying to follow the North Korean system while also crossing his fingers that someone in the States is going to come get him, because this took place in 2012 I think it was right when Obama became president, because they mentioned Obama in this one. Yeah, I think it was Obama. But if you are a Christian or you're looking for another book about someone fleeing North Korea, because Lord knows I've been obsessed with those recently, I don't know why, I would check this out for sure. I actually found this one on Macari. They were offering it like super duper cheap, like I think it was like $5, and this is a hardcover. But when I liked the picture, they offered it to me for $1. So I got it for $1 when it's normally what, $24.99? Yeah, it's normally $24.99. I got it for $1. So, not complaining. Definitely will be added to my shelf of North Korean books that I have, because I've got quite a few. I think I have like 9 or 10 now. Something like that. Anyway, that's the first non-manga one. The next one, this is actually an arc that I found on Macari that I was just curious about. It's called Docile Memoirs of a Not So Perfect Asian Girl. Looks like this. But this basically follows a daughter of Korean immigrants, and they spend time in the cane fields of Texas, where her loyalties are divided between a restless father in search of big money and a beautiful yet domineering mother whose resentments about her own life compromises her relationship with her daughter. So it's like her trying to do things to make the mom happy while also wanting to do things just for herself type of thing. So I was really curious about this, and I know that the education system, if I can get that out of my mouth, it's not as bad over here, but over there in South Korea, it is ridiculous. Like, there'll be elementary school students that go in at 7:30, and let's say school ends at like 2:30. They'll go home, have either a snack or a late lunch, and then go to a secondary school where they'll do the homework that's assigned to them, but then they'll actually also do like more advanced work too. And they'll get there, say, 4, and then be there until like 1 o'clock in the morning. It's ridiculous. The education system over there is insane. I'm just glad that I was not one of the people who had to deal with that, because it probably would have drove me nuts, just being honest. And no disrespect to the South Korean education system, in case I actually have somebody from South Korea that's watching this, but I know that it is very hard on you as a student, and also on you as trying to find a job, a decent job. So you have my respect, and miane for potentially offending you. But yeah, like I said, this was an arc. It came out, when did it come out? Oh, last year, July 16th last year. Okay. But I figured I'd give that a shot. And the last non-manga read, I grabbed this just because I grew up with the show Golden Girls, and I got Betty White's memoir. It says, "If you ask me, and I know you didn't," or no, it says, "If you ask me, and of course you won't." So I'm actually going to be starting this one tonight. That's why my bookmark's just kind of sticking in there so I don't lose it. But I loved the show. I honestly wish that I could find the other members of, like, the other girls' books, because I know the one that played Blanche, Rue McClanahan, I think is how you say her last name, she wrote one. I think it was titled My 5 Husbands and the One Who Got Away. And then the one that played Sophia, Estelle Getty, wrote one as well. And I want to say Dorothy's character did too. I tried looking it up on Goodreads and I didn't see Dorothy's. I saw Sophia and Blanche, but I did not see the one who played Dorothy. But if I could find those, that would be great, because, like I said, I'm a big fan of the show. I grew up watching it with Grandma. And that and Designing Women, because it was always Designing Women first and then Golden Girls after. It was a weird... That was back when it was on Lifetime as well. So that just shows how long ago that was. But I am excited to get to this. Rest in peace, Betty White. You are severely missed. You were so close to hitting 100 years old. She was 99 when she passed. And I'm surprised that she didn't have more health issues than she did. So she definitely was a healthy 99-year-old. So yeah, definitely plan to read that next. Okay, this next little small stack is going to be ones I've purchased but I've already read. There's not that many because I've got so much in this freaking haul video. Oh my gosh. Like I said, grab a snack because it's going to be a long one. Let's see. 2, 3, I know I have 4, there it is. I have 2, 3... piece of fuzz on that. 2, 3, and 4 of The Summer Hikaru Died. I'm just going to say this. This series is freaking nuts. I don't typically like horror. I don't. I tend to stay away from it. Also super gory, which is why I haven't watched Berserk or read Berserk. I say that as someone who's obsessed with the Hellsing anime. Anyway. Basically, it follows the story of a young boy named Hikaru who disappeared one day up in the mountains, and about a week-ish later, he comes back down, but everybody notices that something's a little bit off. And you kind of learn some things about why that is. I don't want to go into, like, why, because it's better to read about it than to try to tell you. Plus, I don't want to spoil it for people that have not read the series. Volume 5 comes out next month. I hope to be able to get it. But I definitely, if you like the horror / mystery trope in books and media, highly recommend. I just was blown away. And I had been wanting to pick up 2, 3, and 4 for a while anyway, just so that I could catch up. Because I don't read digitally. I wait for the physical volumes to come out. So in terms of physical releases, I'm caught up, but digitally I'm not. But yeah, that's 2, 3, and 4. Summer Hikaru Died. This one I just got because I thought it would be funny. It's called I Don't Know How to Give Birth by Ayami Kazama. And this basically this is like an autobiographical manga about her going through pregnancy and giving birth and becoming a mom. This is her first child. She's not as familiar with that, so it's very, very random, but I would recommend this if you're looking for like a comedic take on this, because let's be honest, there are some moments where you can read a book about this subject and it be more scary. She does it in a comedic way, which I appreciate. So, like I said, that one was just hilarious. Okay. You are not gonna fall off, you son of a gun. Okay. Next is volumes 6 and 7 of Tokyo Ghoul. I'm trying to make my way through this series. I have 8 through 14 left. And oh boy, volume 7 is the infamous Jason moment, which is all I'm gonna say. But if you know Tokyo Ghoul and you know that name, you know what I'm referring to. So, definitely a crazy moment. Like, even just watching that scene in the anime, I felt bad for him, but there's so much more detail in this particular volume that makes me feel even worse for Kaneki. And for those that don't know about this series, it follows Kaneki, but he lives in this world where there are ghouls, which are basically people that eat other people to survive. Like, that is the only way that they can survive, basically. Because if they try to eat human food, it makes them sick. In my head, I'm thinking, one of the bonuses is they can't be stabbed because their skin's too hard for the knife to go through. Which, yes, that is a positive. But at the same time, it's can be also viewed as a negative, so. But I cannot wait to continue with the series. I know my library has it, so after I've read more books that are in this huge stack I have next to me, then I definitely will read more of this. Because like I said, I've already seen the anime, so I kind of know how it goes. But I'm interested to see how the original ended, because season 2 was basically just like a filler season. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, and the last two that I've already read from what I have purchased recently is Attack on Titan Before the Fall 2 and 3. This follows a young man named Kuklo, I think that's how you pronounce it. And his mother was part of the cult that worshipped the Titans. When she was pregnant with him, a Titan ate her. However, when the Titan, because they don't have digestive systems, barfed up the people that have passed away, they notice that he is still alive in his mother's womb. And everybody's freaked out because they don't know how to deal with that. So he gets nicknamed the Titan Son for years. And he just gets put through the ringer as a result of that. And I hate that for him, because they're judging him on his, like, situation, not him as a person. However, this young girl who is the daughter of a wealthy, like, one of the wealthiest people in the walls, starts teaching him about the outside world and is really kind and genuine to him, which is a complete contrast to her brother, who sees Kuklo as a plaything. So it really does make you feel bad for him, because he just has gone through so much, but they won't let him catch a break purely because of how he was born. I hope to get the next ones in the series at some point. I think there's 4, 5, and 6. I don't know if there's any more than that, but definitely, if you like Attack on Titan and are interested in, like, lore, like, lore from before the original came out. Sorry about that. I'm just gonna leave the straw up so it doesn't make that noise. Okie dokie. Start with this one. I've heard so many people rave about this series in particular, so when I saw the 20th anniversary edition, I had to grab it, and that is Paradise Kiss. I definitely am excited to get to this. I have so many friends that have said really good things about this, so I'm really excited about this. Whenever I do get new shelves, because I'm going to need new bookshelves, let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see me organize the shelves once they're assembled, because I plan to get some from Walmart that are wider than, like, the IKEA ones. Like, they're as tall but wider. So, like I said, just let me know if you guys would like to see that, because I do want to organize it. I'm not going to do it by author, I'm not going to do it by genre, I'm just going to do it how it would work for me. So, if that bothers you, I'm sorry, that's just how I do it personally. I could wait and then just do, like, a bookshelf tour after the fact, but it's up to you guys. I'll probably put a poll in the community tab asking, excuse me, that was a loud one, asking which you would prefer, whether it be seeing me put the books on the shelves or just the bookshelf tour when I get through. excited about Paradise Kiss. I'm trying not to be on too much of a tangent because this video is going to be long as it is. I'm slowly collecting the original AOT manga, so I got volume 4. I do plan to get more of them, just because I would like to own the series to reread anytime I wanted to. And then next I have Danganronpa, A School of Hope with Students of Despair, the animation volume 4. I looked on Goodreads and I believe this is the last one for this branch of Danganronpa, but feel free to let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that, because like I said, I'm pretty sure that this is the last one. And then next I have volumes 1 through 4 of Fushigi Yugi Genbu Kaiden, I think is how you say it. And I might have these backwards, I'm sorry. But this is basically a prequel to the original Fushigi Yugi the Mysterious Play, which I do have the omnibuses of that coming in because I can't find the singles very easily, and the omnibuses were a decent price, so I went ahead and grabbed them. I will probably sell the singles on my Mercari page because I have 1 through 8. But yeah, this is basically just like I said, the prequel. Here's the cover of volume 1. Definitely interested in reading this, but let me know, should I read the prequel first or the original first? Because I'm super curious about that now, because my brain was like, oh, you should read the prequel first, but then my brain did a double take and went, wait a minute, maybe I should read the original before the prequel. I don't know. You guys let me know down below. Got so many volumes. Holy moly. The last one? Yeah. Okay. This next one has been a massive pain to find. If I don't drop them, good grief. There's 9 of them. I'm trying not to drop them. I got volumes 1 through 9 of Tramps Like Us. This is the cover of volume 1. This series follows Sumire, I think that's how you say her name, Sumire, Sumire, and she's having a really bad day, like, got demoted from her job, found out her boyfriend was cheating on her, and just having a really bad day in general. But on the way home from work, she comes across this homeless guy that she names Momo, and she invites him in to have a place to stay since he's homeless, living in the box. And it is a very interesting series. I know the cover makes it seem more suggestive than the actual like plot point, but I definitely am glad to get to this series. I have 10 and 11 on the way, but I am super excited about this. And it wasn't that much. I think for all 9 it was, I'm gonna say 100 maybe, which for an out of print series isn't terrible, but some out of print ones are just ridiculous. Stay you. I'll do this one next since there's only 2 of them. I also got the omnibus of volumes 1 and 3 of Blood Alone, and then today in the mail volume 4 came in. Excuse me, I have them burps right now. But this basically follows a young girl named Misaki, and she was actually turned, like she was attacked and turned. But there's a young man named, I think it's Kuro, I think is how you pronounce his name. It's Kuroe. I want to say it's Kuro. But he basically has become her protector and also works behind the scenes and does a lot of investigations behind vampire attacks. So he also has like some supernatural things going on. I'm not going to get into what, just to avoid spoilers, but I am excited to own this. My only issue with this particular series, they did not print volumes 7 through 10 in English. I really hate when that happens, to be honest. I might see if my buddy Dan, who actually gifted me some volumes that you'll see later in the haul, if they have Blood Alone on the website that he linked me for reading the rest of Sakura Taisen. And this, for volume 4, is just like a dust jacket, because that's what it looks like on the inside. But yeah, this I got for like $6, and then this one I got for like $10. Which, again, considering it's out of print, I'll take it. Look where this stacks, like freaking sliding everywhere. Okay, I'll do these 3 since they came in today. I got volumes 1, 2, and 3 of Legal Drug. I've actually read this series. It was one that I checked out from my library last year. No, year before. And I enjoyed it. This is definitely a BL or yaoi, I think is how you pronounce it, series. But it's definitely this and the companion series, Drug and Drop, which I also read. I enjoyed both of. I want to actually own Drug and Drop at some point, but trying to find it for a not ridiculous price is proving to be more difficult than it should be. Because this was, I think, 20 for the 3. I think it was around 20 for the 3. And some people were charging like 4 times that for these. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So, another clamp series to add to my massive pile. Because I have the first volume of Chobits, and I want to get XXX Holic and the rest in Drug and Drop. And I'd like to try the, what is it? The one that is Chronicles. That has some characters from Cardcaptor Sakura. My brain is not. Tsubasa Chronicles. There we go. I swear I freaking kept her brain. Okay. Next is this bind up, and it is Seraph of the End, Gurden Ichinoze Catastrophe at 16. This basically follows Gurren's early days in Seraph of the End, if you're familiar with that series. Which, it is basically, the beginning of it is like this big, huge catastrophe where so much of the humanity was wiped out, and the kids that are left are in these, like, homes for the kids. And vampires have taken over, and, like, the shelter that the kids were staying in ties in with another element of the story that I'm not going to spoil, but Gurren is the one that meets the main character when he makes his way out onto the surface at the beginning of the story, because the shelters are underground. As far as I know, there are only 2 parts. Whoa, that was a pretty color page. Let me see that again. I was just flipping through and I saw that page. It's Gurren with, what is her name? Shinobu's sister. Why I can remember Shinobu and not him, I don't know. Or not her. My brain wants to say Mahito, but that just makes me think of Naruto. What is her name? It's gonna bug me. Why can I not remember? Anyway, Shinobu's sister. It's Mahito is JJK. Is it Mitsuru? It might be Mitsuru that I'm thinking of, but yeah, try not to dwell on it too long, because this haul is going to be ridiculous. Okay, next I have the entire series. Let me make sure I got that. Okay. The entire series of this almost hit myself in the neck. Godchild by Kaori Yuki. She wrote Kane Saga and Angel Sanctuary, if you're more familiar with those. This is technically like a sequel series to Kane Saga, and I actually did get it too. I'm just excited to own these because I really love this world. You just don't find a series like this anymore. You don't. Alrighty. Get these that are on top. Next one is Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. I've heard a lot about this in the Dudettes Discord server or Caketon's here on YouTube or Discord. And a lot of people have said that they really enjoyed it. So when I saw volume 1 there, I figured I would give it a shot and see what all the hype was about. Just because the cover intrigued me too, so I was like, I'll give it a shot. Next I have volumes 2 and 3 of the Other Worlds books Depend on the Bean Counter. This is also due to Caketon's here on YouTube. She is obsessed with this series. So if she does happen to watch this video, I know she'll be excited that I got these. Also, Caitlin, if you're watching, do you know when Volume 4 comes out? I figure you'd be the best person to ask, because I know you really like the series. So, I have Volume 1 already. I still need to read it. Sorry, Caitlin. I will get to it. But I am looking forward to seeing why she enjoys the series as much as she does. And then the next one is My Happy Marriage. This follows a young girl named Mio Saimori. And because she didn't inherit like the family powers, she's basically living her days unwanted and unloved, and it just... Her half-sister did inherit the powers, and she treats Mio like a servant. Like, it's really bad. So, I really love the cover of this. It's really pretty. So, but I'm excited to get to this, as I've said multiple times throughout this video. I love her kimono. I swear, if I could freaking get the pattern, I would love to see if I could find somebody near me that could make kimonos so I could have one like that, because it's super pretty. Okay. Next I have My Girlfriend's Child Volume 3. I almost got Volume 4 as well, but I still have 1 and 2 that I haven't read, so I only grabbed Volume 3 in case there is a massive, like, cliffhanger or something. Because, you know, at some point, one of these volumes is going to have that. So. But hopefully I can get to this one soon. I know that manga dude talks about this series quite a bit, because he'll get them like right as they're released, and he said it's an interesting premise, especially for Japan, given how conservative they are, and I will agree with that point. Like, when I first heard about this one, I was like, Japan is so conservative, I'm surprised they even let something like this get printed. But they did. Also, apologies for the sun going through my window over there. It does that around this time of the day, so. Let's see. Trying to find. I think that was it in this one. Yeah, okay. So these next few I got in a bundle off of Mercari. The first 2 are Full Moon o Sagashite, I think is how you pronounce the last part of it. 1 and 2. So many people that I'm friends with in the manga community talk about this series and how good it is. So when I saw it was in a $40 bundle, I just went ahead and grabbed it. Because the premise intrigued me when they mentioned it, but trying to find the series in general without it being ridiculously expensive was proving to be a massive headache. So again, when I saw this in the lot, I grabbed it. Sorry, I got distracted because of that freaking guy revving his engine down the road. That happens all the time here, and it is so annoying. Next I have Love Me, Love Me Not 1 and 2 that was in that lot. Definitely been curious about this series because, again, people in the Dudettes Discord server. There's been a few that talk about this series, but not as much as Full Moon. So, I also really like the art style. It's really pretty. Yeah, that lot was mostly like shoujo beat ones. This is Kakurio, Bed and Breakfast for Spirits, Volume 1. It's about a girl that wants to work off her debt at an inn, but she only has 1 day to find a position, and none of the managers are wanting to hire a human to work there. So she's trying to pay off her father's debt and can't really find a place, so that's proving to be an issue. But I'm definitely curious about this one because I had never heard of this one until I saw it in the lot. Next is Takane and Hana. It says, after her older sister refuses to go to an arranged marriage meeting with Takane Sabara, the heir to a vast business fortune, high schooler Hana no Nomura agrees to be her stand-in to save face for the family. So this almost makes it seem like it's gonna be like enemies to lovers type of thing, or just dislike to lovers based on reviews I've seen of this. So definitely am curious. I don't know if this one is actually still going like imprint or not. Let's see, does it say the date on this one anywhere? $2018 for the English printing. So I might see if they still have it. It just depends on how I view Volume 1. I thought about doing another like FVI like I did for From Eroica with Love, the Warriors, Scourge's Revenge, I think is what it was called. Anyway, I'd love to do another FVI like that. Sorry, I had to draw math really easy. This is to any of my friends that watch this video. I finally picked up Call Me Can't Communicate, Volume 1. I've heard a lot of good and a lot of bad, so we shall see where I will fall. I know I first heard about it from that manga dude, and then when I mentioned it to some of my friends that collect manga, they were like, oh yeah, I've heard about that. Some were like, it's really cute, and then the other people were like, it is really repetitive. But the concept is interesting. The fact that she has such bad social anxiety that she cannot make friends, that's just gotta be rough. Next is So Cute It Hurts. And it's basically about a brother and sister, the sister being good in like the history classes, but her brother is not. So in order to keep him from losing like the weekends off, they swap places, and she takes his history tests for him. So it's a really interesting take on like just how the main characters swap type thing. So I had never heard of this one either, but again, it was in the lot, so next I have The Gentleman's Alliance Cross by Arina Tanimura. They also wrote Full Moon, so it definitely piqued my interest because of that. But because this one's out of print, it might prove to be a pain in the butt as well. I don't know yet. We shall see. But hopefully I'll be able to get to that one soon. I've got so much, you guys don't even know. There's another bag off camera. Next is Millennium Snow, Volume 1. This basically follows a girl who is really sick, and the doctor said that she won't be able to live until the next snowfall. And then it also follows a vampire who has a disdain for feeding from humans, and she tries to help him find the beauty in life, even though hers is ending like it is. So a very different concept, and at least to me, I haven't come across any series like that And this mangaka also wrote Ouran High School Host Club, for those that are familiar with that series. So, definitely gonna give it a try. The concept of Ouran High School Host Club is kind of odd to me, I'm not gonna lie. Here we go. Next I have volumes 1 and 2 of Arata the Legend by Yu Watase. If you've been following me for a while, you know Yu Watase is one of my favorite mangakas of all time. I've read Ceres, I've read Alice 19th. There was a third one by them that I read, but I can't remember. But I own Imadoke by them now, and I now have 1 and 2 of Arata the Legend. Fushigi Yugi, that was the other one. That's the one she's probably the most known for. But this is her first shonen series, so I'm very interested to see how she does in that genre, because I've mainly read her for like the shoujo part. So it'll be interesting to see how she does with the shonen. And then here is the Kane Saga that I told you guys about. Volume 4 was split into part 1 and part 2. I have no idea why. But I've already read these and Godchild, because I got them from the library to read a long time ago. But now I'm excited to actually own these, so if I want to reread them, I don't have to worry about the library not having them. Put these back in this thing, just so I can free up some room, because I don't have that much room in here. What the heck that noise was. It was loud, whatever the frick it was. I'm just trying to free up some room here on the bed, guys. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Let me get this back. If I can get it without a bunch of stuff falling, that would be great. Okay. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Next I have Colette Decides to Die Volume 1. That manga dude talked about it and said it was a really interesting take on Hades and Persephone, I think is her name in Greek mythology. I'm bad with Greek mythology, so apologies if that was not the right one. But Colette is like a workaholic apothecary who jumps into a well, but instead of dying, she finds herself caring for a new patient, Hades, Lord of the Dead. So, interesting take. It'll be, hopefully, it's a good take and not a bad take. Because there's just been some people that have tried to do certain things with Greek mythology that hasn't turned out well, and then other people get it right off the bat. So, Next I have Yakuza Fiance 5 and 6. I think there's currently 8 out, 8 or 9, so I'm still a little behind, but not much. But this follows a girl named Yoshino who is the heir to a particular Yakuza clan where she's from, and to have a truce with a different Yakuza group that are based in like Okinawa, she gets basically betrothed to this guy so that the clans can be together without them fighting. And it's just an interesting take on arranged marriage, Yakuza in general. I definitely want to get to these. I know I still need to read my volume 4 this in my manga room in there, because I'm gonna need new shelves, like I said, though, because it's getting a wee bit ridiculous. These two are wrapped, and if you are in the manga community, you know what that means. This is called Loved by Two Fiancés. I got 1 and 2. And this is basically about a young woman whose fiance has 2 different personalities. It's basically where that comes from. So the concept seems really cool to me, and I've never seen a manga actually tackle that. So we shall see how that goes. Next I have the Remarried Empress, Volume 1. This is a Korean manhwa, not manga. But it follows this empress and emperor, and the emperor basically falls for a young girl in the forest, and they get a divorce, and the empress says she has but one condition: permission to marry the man of her choosing. So I think there's like 4 or 5 out now, but this is like in full color. So that was exciting. Also, these manga are heavy. I don't know if it's because they're in full color or what. Freaking dry mouth. Next I have the complete series of Medupuri. I actually got these off of Poshmark. But it says, on the way to school one morning, Irie loses her mirror, one that has been passed down to her through generations, suddenly finds herself in a bizarre situation. Never in her wildest dreams did she expect Aram, a little boy from a magical kingdom, to have emerged from the mirror in the short time it took her to track it down. So yeah, this sounds like it'll be interesting for sure. I also got Wanted by Matsuri Hino. I actually have already read this because I got it from the library a couple years ago, so I have read this. And it follows this young girl who was super close best friends with a guy, and then as she got older, he suddenly disappeared. And there are rumors going around that he was part of like a pirate crew, so she kind of disguises herself as a boy to be a part of the crew. to try to find him. So I haven't read too many like pirate manga, so but I did enjoy this. Glasses keep sliding down my nose. Okay. Next I have volumes 3 and 4 of The King's Beast. I still need to read 1 and 2, but in case I really get into it, I wanted to have the next 2, because sometimes I'll really get into a series and then they either don't have it at the library or I can't get to a place where they sell it, so I just went ahead and grabbed these. Next I have volume 1 of Blood Plus. I don't know if many of you guys are familiar with this series, but it basically follows a young girl named Saya who is his seemingly normal high school student with her adoptive family in Okinawa. Horrible nightmares are the only hints at the violent life she once led. But her past is about to catch up with her and rouse the merciless warrior within Chiropterans. Powerful, shape-shifting creatures who crave blood threaten humanity once more, and a mysterious organization needs Saya's deadly sword skills and powers to aid in the fight against those beasts. So a very different take on... It's almost like a mix of a demon and a vampire, basically. That's the way I can describe it. Let's see if I can find a picture. Here. Oh, okay, that's a good one. If you're either squeamish or scared really easily, look away briefly. Okay, now you can look back. But I watched the anime of this years ago. Like early 2000s, because I'm pretty sure this came out... 2005 is when it first came out, which sounds about right because it was after Transplant that I discovered this series when it was playing on Toonami, which that just shows you how long ago that was. So the last 2 books that were in that lot that I mentioned before is Monkey High 1 and 2. Basically follows Haruna, who thinks that school life is just like a monkey mountain. And there's even a boy called Macharu Yamashita who reminds her of a baby monkey. So, interesting take on the high school trope. Very interested to see where this goes. Hopefully there's not a ton of volumes in that, because that is an out-of-print series, and if there is a bunch, that's going to suck for me and my wallet. I have Ultramaniac Volume 1. If you guys remember in the last manga haul I did, I had 3, 4, and 5. Well, I have 1. 2 is supposed to come next week, so that'll be a part of March's haul. And then I've also got Visions of Escaflowne Volume 4. I did get 1, 2, and 3 last month. And I found 4 for a decent price, so I went ahead and grabbed it. Trying to find 5 through 8 is proving to be kind of a pain, though. At least when you're trying to buy individual volumes. I've already read this series, but I got Run on Your New Legs. Apologies. Really hate that. But Run on Your New Legs by Wataru Midori. This basically follows a young guy named Shota who was in a soccer accident and lost his leg. and he just has kind of lost interest in doing any kind of sports whatsoever. Until one day, he meets a man who's in charge of doing prosthesis for people with his situation. And he says, I can make you one for running if you want to try running. And so that's what the agreement is. And he starts running, and it's actually become pretty good at it, all things considered. So he's able to go to like a big event to just run and have fun. Also, this one, apparently in this universe, it takes place around the pandemic, which I thought was interesting because I have not read a manga series that focused or that had that as a plot point. So it was definitely odd, but if you guys like stories where the main character overcomes a certain hurdle in their lives, or about people with disabilities thriving, then I would recommend this for sure. Okay, next I have Peach Fuzz Volume 1. This is like super old. Like, does it even say? It's got to somewhere. (2005). But this basically follows a young girl named Amanda who really wants a pet, but her mom is super hesitant about it. But she lets her get a pet ferret, and it's basically like her learning how to raise the ferret while also the ferret trying to see that Amanda is not going to hurt her. But the ferrets view fingers in a very different way than we do, and it is shown in this. I'm not going to show it due to a spoiler, but it's a very odd take on the I want a pet and I want to get a ferret, let me get a ferret, and then I don't know. It's just one of them tropes I find kind of odd. Next I have Oshinoko 3 through 7. Now 3, 4, and 5 were ones my friend Dan sent me from his collection. He wasn't liking where the story was going for him, so he offered them in a Discord server that we're a part of, and I mentioned it to him, and he sent them my way, which was very considerate of you, Dan. If you watch this video, thank you so much again. But for those that aren't familiar with Oshinoko, it basically follows this young Japanese idol named Ai, which is love in Japanese. And it's AI, but it's pronounced I. And one day at a local hospital, there's an OB there, like OBGYN, and I just fell on top of my heat over there. There we go. Anyway, she shows up to this particular hospital and she's around 20 weeks pregnant. And she's having twins. So the doctor does everything that he can to help her make sure she has like a safe delivery and everything. And when she goes into labor, he basically tells her, because he had been up throughout the night with her that if things progress quickly, call me, because I will have my ringer on so that I can hear when you call me. And she just goes, okay. And so he leaves the hospital, and then, and this ties into the main plot point, someone kills him. And he then gets reincarnated as the boy of the twins. And then there's a little girl that he was taking care of as a doctor who was super, super sick and loved that particular Japanese idol. And then she gets reincarnated as the daughter of the twins. I could not make this up if I tried. It is super bizarre. Even people that have read weird stuff in manga have said nothing has topped this. Which, I can see that, to be honest. It is such a different plot point that you're just not expecting. You're like, what did I just read? Even Gavin, from when Gavin reads all the manga, mentioned, what the heck did I just read? But I wanted to keep going because I've read volumes 1 and 2, and now I have 3 through 7. Next I have Blue Lock 1, 2, and 3. I have read volume 1. I got it from my library. But I wanted to continue. I know there's up to like volume, what, like 16 or 17 at this point, so I'm very late to the series, but I can't wait to continue. The premise of this one was interesting. I don't know much about soccer at all, but I like that it's kind of teaching you while showing them go through the scenario that they're in. Like, my favorite sports series is Haikyuu, which I should probably do a, like, my thoughts type of video on Haikyuu. I might do that. It'll be another day though, because this video is so long. But it's basically about this one is about these huge group of boys that are trying to make it to the final team in the experiment, so those there. I also have Mal Volume 5. I just went ahead and picked up Volume 5 because I liked Volume 1. I want to continue. There's just been so much stuff for me to read recently, and this pile isn't helping that, so not that I mind, but I do want to continue that series. Okay, the last 2 series are manhwa. First one is The Guy She Was Interested In Wasn't a Guy at All, 1 and 2. I've heard a lot from different people in the manga community about this. It is a Yuri series or a GL series, so if that's something that you're not comfortable with, I wouldn't recommend it. But basically, this one girl has a crush on who she presumes is a guy that works at the music store. It isn't until later that she realizes he's actually a she. So I want to say this just got approved to be an anime too. I could be wrong about that. Alright, and the last ones in this video, good grief, that's heavy, is a 1 through 5 of Solo Leveling. Now, I have read Volume 1. I've read Volume 1 because my library has it. This is very different, but very cool at the same time in terms of the premise and then the things that happen in the book. I don't want to say in case spoilers. I do want to show you a picture though, but that's all I'm going to show. And unless I find it. Where is the creepy dude? There's a statue in this that... There it is. So, if you've not read the series, look away now. Okay, you can look back. I saw that freaking picture of the statue and I was like, oh heck no. I am basically like GTFO. Get the frick out of here. I don't want to deal with anything like that, that's for sure. It's like, freaking creep me out. Okay. That is all the manga I have for this month's haul. I know it was a lot. I'm going to try to back off on manga buying for a little while. I'll have the stuff that's coming in March, but I'm going to try to not go to this extent again, because I went a little crazy. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please let me know down below what series you've seen me haul that you're either interested in, have read, or on the hunt for, and ones that might have been brand new to you. Like, I just would love to hear feedback on that, because I'll always find it interesting that one person will have read a series, but then another person will turn around and be like, I either have never heard of that series or I've never read it. So, just a really interesting way of dealing with that. But anyway, again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon in another video, another time. Bye, Roses. 안녕.